Now, I don't know if it's the teacher in me or what, but I want to give a disclaimer. This is not a lecture. It's not a finger pointing. It's not a let me tell you why I'm better at doing life than you are doing better at life. That's not it, because in many ways I'm just still figuring things out. But I recognize that Christmas and the holidays can be incredibly busy, and there's a lot of demands on our time, our energy, with work, with family, with events, with all sorts of stuff. And as I'm going back and forth with a couple of friends, and their schedules are frantic, and I look at it and think, mine's not that full. And the reason it's not that full is because I've intentionally tried to, especially at this time of the year, make sure I've got bandwidth. I don't want to put more than 70% or so into my schedule, into my calendar, because inevitably at this time of year, a good 20% more will come in just on its own, whether it be in, some surprise that's good that comes along with a baby being born, or surprise that's bad with a dear friend dying and a memorial service happening, or there's always going to be something that needs to be in the calendar. And if I'm functioning at 100% when those things hit, it's going to be very challenging. And we will be tempted to try and push through. And in doing so, we rob ourselves, we rob our families, we rob everyone of our presence. And I think one of the section of scriptures that really jumps out at me is Proverbs chapter 16, verses 1 through 9. And in it, the writer basically is contrasting how a person plans their life versus what God does. And in Proverbs 16:9, it says something to the effect of, a man plans his own way, but the Lord establishes his steps. And to me, one of the things that signifies is, I want to commit all of my plans, all of my things that I've got on my calendar, everything going on in my life, to God, and ask him to help me sort out and establish the things that are going to be life-giving, that are going to be the main priority for my life, so that I'm not running around like a chicken with my proverbial head cut off, but I can actually be present, and I can be involved, and I can be just available for family, for the things that are in front of me, and not be driven by the schedule, but allow God to establish my steps and establish what I do and what I give myself to. And my prayer for you is that you navigate this holiday time with great grace, and that you have permission and give yourself permission to be able to say yes and no to the things you want to say yes and no to live congruently for what it's worth. God bless you, and Merry Christmas.